like you're supposed to have it all together, but inside you're wondering how everyone else makes it look so easy, you're not alone. This is Southern Sisters, a place for women who want to grow without the guilt, find purpose in the messy middle, and be reminded that you were made for more. Make sure you stick around. We always save the bloopers for the end.
Welcome to our episode of Southern Sisters. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining us today. Okay, you're going to hear that intro twice today because I made a mistake this morning when we recorded today's episode. So I had some incredible guests in the studio with me this morning. It was really early, but we got it done. Guys, I have been praying for this episode for months because I knew that it would be something that would be impactful and help people, but I needed help from my amazing guest and best friend, Heather. Now, it just so turned out that it was even better than I imagined because she was able to bring her daughter, Savannah, which is one of Kate's very best friends. And we were able to have a fantastic conversation on stillness and grounding and things that I feel like are so important in our world that we simply have forgotten and we don't pay attention to and we don't take the time for. So this conversation means a lot to me. It's probably one of my favorite episodes this whole season, and I am so grateful for best friends who support you and show up even when they don't want to record podcast episodes. I'm so grateful for so many friends because even my sisters, I know that there's a lot of people that are involved in this passion project, and it means a lot that you listen. It means a lot that you come on and speak with me, and I'm just so grateful that I'm surrounded by such an amazing group of women and that we can support each other. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy this episode that will forever be very dear and near to my heart. Enjoy, be still, simply soothe your soul. Welcome to our episode of Southern Sisters. We are so glad you're here. Thank you for joining us today. I am so excited. I have two special guests joining me today for our episode. I'd like to welcome Savannah and Heather Klepko, and they are joining us. This is going to be so awesome. Okay, so ladies, before we jump into our rapid fire and stuff, just give us a little information about who you are.
Well, I'm Heather, and this is kind of hard to talk about myself. I'm a mom of 8 children, and I am a physical therapist. I have a doctorate in physical therapy. I also am certified and trained in functional medicine, and so that's my professional life. My past life before kids and marriage, I was an athlete. I had a career in that in college. It got me through school. That's how I met my husband.
That's how I met you.
That's how we met. And the rest is history.
Heather and I have been friends for my whole adult life. Like, I remember she moved here to go play volleyball at Memphis, and they asked me, they were like, "Hey, Meggan, can you go pick up Heather? She's down at the U of M. She just needs a ride to church." And I was like, "You do know that I drive a Kim Drive van, like a carpet cleaning commercial van."
It was awesome.
Do you remember that?
Oh, 100%.
So I roll up in my carpet cleaning van. I'm like, "Hi, I'm here to give you a ride."
I even remember we went to a bread making activity. I don't know if you remember that part, but I was like rolling up in the van. My first activity in the singles branch.
Well, and I remember thinking, like, could they not get someone with a cooler ride? Like, she wants a ride to church, and I'm going to get her. Sure.
It was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. But it was a memory. I'm like, forever. And then we have I feel like we've grown up together because I feel like you have childhood and you have adulting growing up. So we have adulted, growing up, adulting together, and it's great. Our kids are bestie friends. Like, it's amazing. We love the Klepko family. All right, your turn, girl.
Okay. I'm Heather's daughter. I'm her oldest. What else? I just got back from my first year at college, so that's fun. And yeah, big plans coming up. I'm going on a mission for my church this summer, so that's going to be fun. It can be hard, but...
Where are you going?
I'm going to Brazil And yeah, that'll be fun. I'm actually going to the Amazon rainforest kind of area, so a little exotic.
That's going to be incredible.
Yeah, I'm very excited. And yeah, I like to sing. I like sports. I like hanging out with my family and friends. Yeah, it's a party.
That's awesome. Well, we are so glad you're here. Okay, so to start off our episode, when we have guests, we always like to do a rapid fire. And we're going to let Heather answer them first and then Savannah. So, Savannah, you'll have the chance to actually think about it for a second.
Okay. Oh, no.
We'll put mom in the hot seat.
Oh,
No, this would be great. Okay. Barefoot outside or wrapped in a blanket?
Oh, depends on the temperature.
Okay, perfect temperature. What would it be?
Barefoot outside.
Yeah. What about you?
I think wrapped in a blanket.
Yes. Favorite way to spend a slow afternoon?
Reading a book.
Oh, I don't know.
Sleep.
Sleeping.
You know that.
Napping.
This is good. Okay, early bird or night owl?
Currently, early bird. I used to be a night owl, but I've since changed my ways.
I don't know what is happening. It's like God saying, get up earlier. But I'm like you. Like, I feel like my thrive time used to be night, and now 10:30 hits, and I'm like, it's crazy. What
Night
about you?
owl.
Night owl?
Definitely.
Yes.
Do not like the mornings.
I know. Well, I was laughing. So we are recording this really early in the morning because this is the only time that we all had. And so Heather was like, and Savannah, I was like, yes, I want Savannah to come. And I'm like, but I taught Savannah seminary. I know. Morning.
She knows I don't do mornings.
I'm like, I hate that I'm asking this of you.
Her brother used to send me pictures of her sleeping on the couch in seminary.
We had fun.
It was early.
It is early. It's so early. So yes. Okay. What is one word your friends would use to describe you?
Oh. Patient?
Funny.
Funny. Yes. Mountains, lake, or beach? Oh, I feel like this is conflict of your soul because you love the mountains, but beach?
It would be beach, but honestly, half and half. Beach and mountains.
Yeah. What about you?
I think mountains now, but I do love the beach too.
Okay. Favorite way to move your body when you're stressed?
Walking.
Yeah, walking.
Perfect. Silence or music when you're getting ready?
Oh, these are hard because
Depends on the circumstance.
depends.
But the first thought, like, do you want, okay, or maybe like not getting ready when you're cleaning the house, like when you're cleaning or organizing, do you silence or music?
it depends. I have learned to love silence because my thoughts and impressions come during those times when I'm doing the dishes, when I'm walking. And so I've learned to have a little bit of both in my life.
Well, it's funny
Because music gets you in good moods and it gets you, working faster. It makes it, makes the chores fun. But I have learned to love silence.
Yeah. What about you?
Music. Definitely.
Very good. Okay. The most overrated self-care trend.
I can't. I don't even know.
You don't even?
No.
What do you
Savannah,
think?
go first.
I don't know.
Self-care? Say self-care trends most overrated.
Facial care routines, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it just seems like a lot.
Yeah. This is good. Okay.
Or the nighttime routines of what you do. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Very good. Favorite sound that instantly calms you.
My kids laughing.
What about you, Sab?
Probably beach waves.
Ooh, very nice. Okay. If you had one completely free hour, what would you do?
Sleep.
Same.
Yep.
Yep. Lovely. What's one thing you wish women would stop apologizing for?
Being who you are.
Yeah.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yes, this is good. Okay, do you have a second thing women should stop apologizing for?
I Oh, I don't know. That was just the first thing that came to my mind too. I think, yeah, just expressing yourself, and also I think laughing. Sometimes like people apologize for like laughing too hard or like loud or for expressing interest in things, but I think that's really important, and you shouldn't apologize for that because that's who you are.
That is the truth. All right.
Like showing emotion, and
Yeah.
excitability,
Yeah.
and
all the big
the
feelings.
extremes. We all, kind of feel like we need to be in this like steady box, or just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I get you. I got you. I know what you're saying.
Yep.
Like I like seeing people's genuine selves and
And
no
not-
filter.
No
Yeah.
filter, no face that they have to hide behind.
Yeah.
That is the truth. Okay. Cozy socks or fuzzy blanket?
Blanket.
Blanket.
Favorite way to reconnect with God when life feels busy?
Prayer, for sure. But prayer plus meditation.
I think through music. Yeah.
Music is powerful. Okay. What's one thing that you do instantly that helps your nervous system settle down?
Breathe.
Breathe.
Yeah. Take deep breaths. Take a step back. Like kind of look at myself from above perspective.
Well, take yourself out of a situation
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just hold your space for a second.
Exactly.
That's very good. Okay, so that kind of brings us right into our conversation today. So, our icebreaker question for today is, when was the last time you actually sat in silence with no distractions? And backstory for a second while they think about this. The whole reason we are having this episode is because Heather is functional medicine, and she has been helping me the last decade really, but more intensely the last few months, kind of work through different troubles that I've been having with our trauma of our finances and all that stuff. And it's because of her that I've been able to kind of wade through all of the feelings and the trouble. And it was a month or two ago we were talking, and she was just like, when was the last time that you just took some time to breathe? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. It's been a while. In fact, there's many times that she'll be like, stop holding your breath. Because I do that. So we're talking and she's like, you're not breathing. Oh, you're right. And I'm like, if I do this, so many people probably do this too, and just need the reminder to breathe. And so today's episode is all about being still and why it's important, especially going into our summer season where routines and stuff are a little bit cattywampus. Wonderfully so, because it's an amazing time of year, but it also can be busy and chaotic, and May is nuts and all of these things. So when was the last time that you actually sat in silence without any distractions?
This isn't a tough question just because I've put some self-care in place with this, but my ultimate favorite thing now is to sit with the sunrise. And so I try to get up. I usually hear the birds, and my birds are my alarm clock just outside my window. So when those birds start chirping, I just get up, and that's when the sun rises, and I go outside and sit and just listen and just sit. And that's how I love to start my day.
That's amazing. What about you, Sav?
Definitely in the past few weeks, because when I got back from college, I had so much like catching up to do on my like peace time. So I've definitely had a lot of time in the past few weeks to just sit and be with myself with no distractions. So I think it's been really nice.
I think my biggest thing lately is I've been trying not to reach for my phone right when I wake up.
Yeah.
And just have 10 or 15 minutes when I just lay there and I'm just still, and I practice breathing
Good.
deeply and just try to just connect with myself. We spend all day as women and people connecting with the whole world around us. Like that's that time that we connect with self that I think we're missing. And I love, Savannah, that you come home and you're like, I'm filling my cup. Like that's really amazing. Okay, so our
I will
discussion.
add, Savannah has a lot more distractions at our house than probably at school with
Yeah.
the amount of siblings that she has in her room. She no longer has her room because another sibling took over. So there's lots of distractions in our house.
It's kind of the
true.
way it goes. We were talking with Kate. So Kate's halfway through a mission, and someone was saying, like, where's Kate going to stay when she comes home? And I'm like, in the same room with Lily. They've never shared a room because there's 8 years between them. But I'm like, she's used to a companion. It'll be okay.
It'll be fun.
And I think it'd be really great for Lily to have that sister bonding time.
Always, yeah.
Always. So I think that's great.
Those are good distractions.
The best.
Kids. Yeah.
I think something that we don't really recognize because as moms, we're like, oh, the noise. Sometimes it gets off the chain. But, you know, my kids say that's what they miss.
Yeah.
They're like, when you're surrounded by that sound of living and then you're like on your own, it makes it more quiet.
It's
I
true.
guess.
Kind of boring in a way. Like, I miss my siblings' chaos.
Yeah. It adds so much to life.
Yes.
Okay. So here is my first question. Why do you think it's so hard for women to slow down right now? Why do you think we avoid stillness or silence?
To some, silence can be deafening. It can be intimidating. A lot of intrusive thoughts can come through. So we err on the side of distraction versus silence, or being still, or stimulation versus relaxation. We might think that scrolling or watching TV or whatnot is rest and relaxation, but it's not. It's distraction and it's stimulation to our mind, body, and spirit. Also, just our society. Modern society thinks we need to be productive and go, go, go. There's only 24 hours in a day, so let's make the best of it. Mm-hmm. So that's also, especially as moms, you know, when there are so many things that we know we should be doing and need to be doing, and so many other people's needs that we need to attend to, it's really easy to get lost in our self-care, getting lost and finding those distractions to kind of cope with that. Yeah.
I'm a master diverter. I love thinking about everybody else but myself.
Yeah.
What do you think, Savannah? Why is it so hard for us to slow down?
Yeah, I think women are very ambitious, but sometimes that can be a bad thing because they forget themselves and they only think of the work and what they're working towards. And it can seem like a lot, like seeing how far you need to go versus how far you are. And like my mom said, like there's only 24 hours in the day. So you think you need to use all that time to put towards your work and towards your goals. But like sometimes you need to take that time for yourself, or else you're just going to burn out, or it's going to take longer for you to achieve these things if you don't take time for yourself and rest. And I think also the culture of comparison, it's like very easy to see how far ahead others are compared to yourself. And that will just bring you down and make you try to work harder. But in reality, you're just holding yourself back because you're not taking the time to slow down and go at your own pace.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I feel like there's this whole hustle culture that we have that says do more, do more, do more. And I struggled with this the last few months because with this podcast in particular, I thought I want to take the summer off and I want to have rest. Well, everything inside of me says you can't rest because you're building momentum. Like if you quit, then people will stop listening. And what are you going to do? And honestly, I was being prayerful about this. And I was like, Lord, I need a break. I want to enjoy my kids. This is Luke's last summer at home. Like I want to disconnect and just enjoy. And so I'm trying to take things off my plate that I can. And this just happened to be something that I felt strongly that I should, but then I had the doubts. And it's so funny. I was prayerful one morning and I just had the thought, like, even Jesus rested. And then the second thought I had was, look and see what I can do. Like, you don't have to be doing to have me amplify what you've done.
Yeah, there's such an emotional burden and a spiritual disconnect as you're talking about it, because we emotionally equate rest with guilt, that we're not
And lazy.
serving, and laziness, that we're not serving others, doing for others. We've got this, mile long to-do list. We think it's selfish. Self-care, a lot of people equate to selfishness.
Yeah.
And who am I to deserve rest right now? So as Savannah talks about comparison, that's where that comes in. And then spiritually, a lot of us as women connect our productivity with our identity and
Our worth.
That's also a strong spiritual disconnect to the rhythms, our rhythms of life, and what our real purpose is and identity is. And just as Jesus rested, he also took himself away from, the noise or distraction, and found that silence to be still. And why not follow that divine example?
Right. Well, and it's funny because I've been with us studying the Old Testament this year. And I feel like what I'm drawn to right now is when God shows up and says, look and see what I can do, what you can't do, but what I can do. Because it's like you said, we think that we have to earn it. Like we think we have to earn rest.
My mind immediately goes to Mary and Martha, too, as sisters. Martha was the one being busy and rightfully so, wanting to serve the Lord and his disciples. And then Mary was there just sitting, being still at his feet and listening. It's just a strong example of we can be and do both. We need to do both, be servants of the Lord, be instruments in his hands, but also take time to rest and be still and listen to what he needs to tell us.
I often wonder, which one would I be? Which one would you be?
I don't know.
I think she'd totally be sitting.
Yeah.
I think she'd be sitting at the Savior's feet. She'd be like, I am so glad to be here.
In taking the
I can
word
see
through
it.
osmosis with her eyes closed.
Yeah, no, she'd just be soaking it up. It'd be amazing.
She would be. She would be.
I do
can see
think that I would be like running around like a chicken with my head cut off, like, there's stuff everywhere.
Probably. I would probably just accept it. Just be like, yep, I'm just going to sit here. It's a mess, but I'll just sit here. It's better here.
What I love too, though, about Mary was that the custom was for women to be serving in, the kitchen and providing food and shelter. And it was the apostles and the brethren that were able to sit at, the feet of the Savior or be in those rooms. And I just thought Mary was like,
She was going against the grain.
yeah, I don't care. This is the Lord.
Well, and in the end, he said she chose the better part. Like, oh.
Yeah, who was chastised there?
Yeah, it's the truth. Okay, so how does being constantly busy affect our emotional and spiritual health? I don't think we even realize.
We kind of talked about, we've touched base on this a little bit. We don't realize the impact until we can remove ourselves from the situation or quiet the noise and really become to a reality and become present with who we are and how we view ourselves. Like there's probably a stark difference between how I view myself versus how the Lord views each and every one of us. And how do we bridge those gaps? What is that disconnect? Like, why do I view myself so poorly? When when our friends in our community, see the best for the most part. We always see the worst in ourselves.
But we think the world of others.
In the world of others. And we know God loves us. But it's like a disconnect, and we override that.
I've been thinking about this a lot because with my health, the disconnect between physically how I feel and spiritually how I feel. And they're very different. They're very, very far apart. Like how I see myself in my mind is very different from how I look. And I'm like, what is the disconnect? Is it? And I think it's because I don't pay attention to my own soul. I'm too busy. It's easier to put out all the fires that are around me than to notice the fire that's within me. Does this seem crazy?
No.
I'm on a journey.
Aren't we all?
Yes. I am on a journey. I feel like my kids are getting a little bit older, and the Holy Ghost is saying to me right now, this is the season to work on you. And honestly, most days I don't know what that looks like because I'm so out of practice from doing any of that. So it's crazy. So what do you guys think, Savannah? What are some signs that your body gives you when you're doing too much? What are some clues? Because there's spiritual and emotional health, but usually it always manifests itself physically. Yes?
Yes. And that's what I was going to say with the previous question. So go ahead, Savannah.
Yeah, I definitely just see myself get really, really tired and like, yeah, it just feels physically draining. And that's how I know I can connect it. Oh, I'm probably spiritually or emotionally not where I need to be. And this actually happened a few times in college where it would all just kind of catch up to me at once. And I would just like have a breakdown and be like, okay, what's the reason for this? Like, I'm getting good sleep. Like, I don't really have anything bad going on in my life. But then I realized, oh, I'm not where I need to be, like, health-wise. Like, I'm not taking care of my mental health, and I'm not taking time to slow down. Like, I'm being too busy, too hard on myself, running faster than I have the strength to run. So, yeah, it's definitely, like, it'll just catch up to me, and I'll just feel really drained. That's a huge sign.
Yeah. Most things do start to manifest physically. And when they get to that point, that's when we're basically overloaded and overstimulated. Everything's, if you think about a giant bathtub, when symptoms come in the body, that's when the bathtub is overflowing.
Yeah.
And that's when the body sends signals, but they're subtle, at the beginning. But then come, fatigue, restlessness, anxiousness, lack of sleep, brain fog, aches and pains, heart rate variability, heart rate ramps up, we sweat more, all those symptoms of fight or flight, our nervous, shows our nervous system is ramped up. But we just equate it to, stress of the day or, this or that, or we don't really pay mind to it until the body starts screaming at us and that bathtub overflows.
So true. I don't like it when my body screams at me, but it's happening more and more just because we're getting older and
It's true. Who knows how long we're in that constant state of low grade stress, and where's our breaking point?
yeah.
And it's different for everyone. We definitely don't want to get to that breaking point. We've got to tap back into the rhythms of life. Our bodies, minds, and spirit really work in patterns and rhythms. And that's being active and resting. That's being social and isolating yourself.
Yes.
That's noise and silence. I always equate it to that sine wave, up and down, ebb and flow. We have to live in a rhythm, a natural rhythm of ebb and flow for us to thrive.
So what patterns do we need to put in place, would you say, to help us have more balance with this?
I like to talk about or address the how of patterns. We need, I call it a KISS IT. Okay, so it's acronym. K it's keep it simple. You can add in another S, small and sustainable. So as we try to incorporate patterns back into our life, they need to be small and simple acts and changes. Some people think we need this big, giant, life-changing actions to, get to where they need to be, but then they expect it to happen in a day or a week, and
In a big way.
in a big way.
Big changes, big way.
Yeah, but we know it's the small and simple things. And so keep it simple, small, and sustainable. The IT is intentionally train. And so we just need to be in a training mentality to create flexibility and adaptability in our life to reach into that pattern for ebb and flow, find that rhythm. Hope that makes sense.
It does make sense. What would be an example of this?
Breath work. Just breathe. Going into more of the what. I love acronyms, but a big thing of finding the what, like breath work, for example, is becoming aware of what is dysfunctional. So we do live in this constant state of nervous system dysfunction. So how do we retrain that? So the acronym for that, I just ABC. So we need to be aware. You need to raise an awareness to really what is my breath work? Am I breathing? Or am I constantly bracing myself for impact?
That's me.
Yeah. Or, yeah, are we holding our breath?
Yes.
Or are we breathing really shallow because our body or our mind or our spirit think we're running from a bear? So we're just, on the verge of hyperventilation. And so it's really just, I need to be aware. So that's the A. B, be still. Because you need to, consciously say, okay, I'm going to be still. I'm going to take a deep breath, right?
You got to schedule it in your day. And Savannah, you keep laughing, but it is the truth.
It's true.
We all do this.
I'm laughing because I'm like, yep, that's me.
Yes, you schedule in your day. This pattern, so to create a pattern, we need to constitute change and make it a habit. So if you do your ABCs, start out 3 times an hour. Yes, it could take that long, or 5 checkpoints in a day, and do this particular small and simple act. Then over time, it will become automatic, which is that the nervous system feels safe, protected. I'm free of pain. I'm not running from a bear. I'm not bracing for impact. I'm actually thriving.
When you told me that I needed to take 5 times a day to stop and breathe, I was like, I ain't got time to stop and breathe 5 times a day.
I can't tell
That's
you.
the problem.
And that is the problem.
I can't tell you how many people will just laugh at me and they're like, what are you talking about? Like, I breathe. I'm alive, aren't I? No.
Oh, no.
There's different methods of breathing. There's even different techniques, scientific techniques, box breathing, hiccup breathing. There's a lot of different ways to incorporate breath work into our life a different way. So it sends a different signal and then shifts that entire nervous system into the rest and digest thriving system. And that's where we want to be. It's okay to be in states of stress periodically, but in order to get out of this chronic low-grade stress that we're all in or have experienced before, we've got to incorporate these small and simple acts. So back to the ABCs, have an awareness, be still, become present with your day. Become present with that second, that moment. Even if you set a timer for 2 minutes and you just breathe, that's becoming present with the day versus thinking forward. A lot of us think, oh, I've got to do this. I've got to, we're looking forward to our plans, or I've got to pick up this kid at this time. I've got to plan for a trip, And so it gives you a chance to bring it back to the present. And then the C is connect. Because a lot of times we're aware and we'll be still, but we refuse to connect with our inner beings, our minds, quieting the mind, tapping into the emotional side of us, our spiritual side, and connecting with our bodies. And what is our body actually telling us? What are those symptoms? That can be scary.
Yeah.
And so it's addressing the fears that might come with being still, like we talked about before, and just being willing to connect with ourselves, but also with our environment in a positive way, and also with others. So we need 3 different forms of connection: ourselves, our environment, and others, our relationships. So just it and ABC.
I think that's awesome. What would you recommend for someone, not saying it's me, that has problem connecting with themselves? I feel like I don't have problems connecting with everyone in the room or even with God, but with my own self. Like, do you have anything that...
A lot of times you have to come and become aware of the why. Why am I so disconnected with myself? Mm-hmm. And that's a D. So you can go even further, A, B, C, D. Because a lot of times we need to disconnect before we can connect. And why are we choosing distraction? There's another D. Why are we choosing distraction and disconnecting from the innermost parts of ourselves? And so sometimes it is hard finding the why. So you find someone to help you with that, like me.
Yes.
But it's ask for help
Yeah.
and becoming aware. And even if you're just like, I don't know, just start with A and B. Just breathe. Just be still.
Okay, Heather, if you will send me a couple of breath videos that I know you've given me one or two, but if you have any other links or anything that we can put in the show notes to help people that are interested in investigating this more, that would be really cool. I think that would be really, really great. Okay, so we're going to shift gears from breathing for a second and we're going to talk about grounding. What is this?
Okay, that's another form of connection.
Yes.
Okay, so if you are having a hard time connecting with yourself, also, like we talked about, connect with other people and ask for help, but connect with the environment around you. And grounding is a huge part of that. Not just physical grounding, but there is emotional and mental grounding that can happen as you intentionally ground. And two forms of connection with our environment that I always suggest is physically. So grounding, they call it earthing too. Basically playing barefoot in the grass. It can ground. Gardening with your hands, being in the soil. We just are missing nature. Nature has a very natural, slow rhythm to itself, and our bodies crave that. And we are just so disconnected at times with just the natural rhythms of life that its grounding will just almost immediately impact that ability to connect with that natural slow rhythm and be more in the present than, thinking more and more forward and ahead. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So physical grounding, the other part of grounding that I think enhances physical grounding, and even if you're like, well, I don't have grass, you might not have any grass around you.
Wait, before we talk about that, explain exactly what grounding is. So this is part of like your morning routine.
Yes.
When you go outside
Yes.
and you sit on the ground.
I sit outside. I do take my shoes off, but I'm saying you don't have to. Some people don't like the feeling of dirt and grass, but I would just recommend to try it. Pay attention to how it makes you feel. Sit outside so you can be barefoot in the grass. So you're grounding with the earth below you. Like I said, we connect with light. So light, our circadian rhythm responds so strongly to light. And so that's why sunrises are so important, and even sunsets, because it's a natural reset for our circadian rhythm and telling you, oh, it's wake up time. I'm naturally going to release cortisol at this time. I'm naturally going to fall into that curve, which I was missing before. Yesterday was very stressful. So it's a natural reset in the day. So connect with the earth, connect with light, and connect with heaven. And so I also like to use visual imagery. One way is I visualize, it's going to sound weird, but you can visualize yourself as like a tree with roots going down into the earth, and then your arms like branches reaching towards heaven. I also like to visualize maybe a beam of light coming down and connecting me with heaven. And then the strongest form of connection is through prayer. And so that's why we start our day with prayer. So 3 different ways to connect to the environment around us and in a healthy, natural way. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it
Okay.
does. No, I think that was perfect.
Savannah, you want to add?
What do you think about grounding?
Have you ever grounded?
Yeah.
Have you ever?
I do. I need to. I do. I like what you said about like nature has natural slow. What did you say? Like slow.
A natural slow, yeah.
Rhythm that we need, because I definitely feel that. I just love being outside. I just feel natural connection to the grass and the sun also. I just feel like the sun re-energizes me. Yeah, I'm just like a cat. I like to lay outside in the sun. But
And sleep.
yeah. And I feel like my generation and mom's kids and stuff talk about, like, oh, you need to touch grass. But I really think that's like an actual thing. Like, you do need to go outside and have time in nature, because like our body just needs that. We need to go back to our roots, and we need time away from screens, time away from being indoors, and we need that natural sunlight and like, yeah, just the nature.
I think that's part of the reason why we're so excited for summer.
Yeah.
It's like our souls all are like, get out of doors. We need the light. We need the sun. We need. I was laughing because I was like, okay, what is your intention with this summer? I put it on social media, and one lady was like, water all the time. Like, we're just going to be in the water all summer. I'm like, that's intentional. That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
It's awesome. I love it. Okay.
Okay, one thing that's coming to mind, though, I'll just say it, the waves. So we talked about the beach, and Savannah talked about the waves as a sound that's calming. But what an example of ebb and flow, because the waves, the tide isn't always up on the beach, doing, right? There's a low tide and a high tide. It naturally recedes and isolates or, pulls away. And then there's a natural, comes back. I don't know.
So what you're saying is I'm not antisocial if sometimes I'm like put myself out there and other times I'm like hiding. I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to anyone.
No. I mean, sometimes that's a coping mechanism, right? But it's okay. That's another way, another small and simple training to recede and retract away from, society or just being around people, so you can reconnect with yourself and you can recover. Recovery is such a big part of our lives and our bodies. We need to reset. We need these natural abilities to reset.
That's the truth. All right. Well, I think this has been so much good stuff. This is going to be so helpful. Last question. What would change if women started listening to their bodies instead of just pushing through? What do you think, Savannah?
Oh, that's a good question. I think we would put a lot less pressure on ourselves. And I think when I'm in good physical shape, then I'm good, like, mentally and spiritually. It definitely connects. And I definitely need to do this more, like focus on what I can do for my own self. Because I feel like a lot of times I'm just like, I need to be busy. I need to be proactive, just like we've been talking about this whole time. But I really think that if I were to switch my mindset and be like, okay, the only way I can perform all I'm designed to perform is by taking care of myself. Like, you can't accomplish all you want to if you're not, like, all the way recharged and all the way ready to do the things that you want to do. So, yeah. That's what I think.
Okay, so this is a little off topic, but
Yeah.
I'm just interested in your answer. One of the things that I have noticed since Kate has been gone is every time I talk to her, I'm like, how are you doing? And her response is always, I'm so great, but I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
And it's because you're anxiously engaged in such a great big work, serving and loving people all the time. So what tools do you have in your toolbox for combating that? Because that's going to be the life that you live.
Yeah, I know. And I'm a little nervous because I've never really lived a life like that, like putting my whole self in one purpose. And it is going to be kind of setting aside myself, but I think it's also going to be important to not forget myself and my self-care, because it could get really, I guess, lonely out there. So some of the tools that I've been kind of using in college as well, because it's kind of like a
Pre-game show.
Yeah, pre-game show. It's kind of like a little like a sample of what I'm gonna experience. But I don't know, I think definitely breathing. I used a lot of breathing exercises and kind of like meditation, and just taking a step back and walking myself through what I've been doing is good for processing, because sometimes when I don't process and I'm just fully okay, let's go, let's immerse yourself in the work, then it's I don't have time to really take a step back and think of what I'm doing, and it'll all catch up to me at once, and I'll just be what am I doing here? I'm just insane. But yeah, if I like take those checkpoints, I think that'll be important. And then also writing things down to process them. I like journaling. I think that's a really good way to just like, I don't know, just going back and remembering things is really good for me to like calm myself down. And I think it's a form of meditation. And just working on my mental health, like making sure my emotional health is in check, and yeah, just processing things.
I love that, because even though you are serving others for 18 months and that's what you're dedicating your life to, God doesn't expect you not to take care of yourself too.
Yeah.
And prayer journaling and having those moments of study and reflection and just, like you said, breathing, I think it'll make all the difference. Very, very good. All right. Heather, what do you think? What would change if women started listening to their bodies instead of pushing through?
So what would change? I feel like there's so many layers to this, but physically, we would prevent a lot of chronic issues down the road, unseen, that are slowly building. So a lot of prevention and just long-term health, that alone is huge for us, especially as women, because there is such a high demand for us. But if we first take care of ourselves and, take that oxygen mask and put it on ourselves first, we can do so much good. And even deeper than that, sorry. Hey, I lost it through the whole thing without time.
So good.
But even deeper than that, we would have such a deeper connection, not with ourselves, which in turn I think would create a deeper connection with our Heavenly Father, and what grace and the atonement actually mean in our lives. And when we do that, there's a deeper power. We would understand and recognize the deep power that we have within, and we would tap into our sixth sense of intuition. It's a tactic of the adversary for us to disconnect from our innermost, from that intuition. And we would tap into that innate power and really recognize who we are and what we're here to do. And we would just be uninhibited because we taking care of ourselves and we listen.
Yeah.
And we don't let the fears and the apprehensions get the best of us. We're not perfect. We're human beings.
There's so much power we have access to that we don't tap into because we just don't recognize it within our own selves.
No. And we just think we need to have this profound experience to get there, but I'm telling you, if you just take the steps, small and simple acts, and be intentional and be present and be still, it will come sooner than you think, in a magnified way. You will turn around and be like, oh, I feel whole. Whoa, what is this burning inside of me? And I know in my own life, everything came crashing down on me after my third child. So I had a lot of these physical symptoms, and emotional symptoms. I was in overdrive 100%. And I lost a lot of that, just who I thought I was, and attached myself to what other people probably thought I was, and my ability to do and productivity and things like that. But through that process, I'm grateful for it, because had I continued on that path and just, pushed through it, I wouldn't have been able to tap into these parts of myself. And you just wake up one day and life is flowing. And I've felt it before. It's not always, but your flow, life just happens in a perfect way. And you feel so connected to God and just of who you actually are, that none of this matters. None of this superficial things that we deal with in the day-to-day, it just doesn't matter. And it really helps you just slough off and disconnect with all of that you thought was important. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful for those experiences, and I'm just grateful for these opportunities to change and become the better part of myself.
Well, and it's almost like you have a rebirth of sorts, where you're like brought down to the lowest of low, and then you come back up again, somebody different. And over the course of our lives, that's going to happen again and again. And I think the whole purpose of it is that we become who we are meant to be, which in turn philosophically is who we believe we always were. But it's like that uncovering process. I know we always close down our episodes, keep striving, and we'll see y'all soon. You're going to have to say this when we close it down, just so you know. But I've been trying to lean more into the surrender instead of so much striving. Like, I feel like I've got the striving down. Now I need to surrender and find that inside of me to connect and work through. And that's my thing. I'm with you, Heather. I feel like if we all could connect and slow down and stop just pushing through, then we would have so much more power to do good than what we currently do. And it would be done on a level that would be healing to everyone. So I think that's amazing. All right. Our scripture for today is one of my very favorites, Psalms 46:10, and it says, "Be still and know that I am God." And I hope that wherever you are in your journey, that this has helped. I am so grateful for Heather and Savannah making the time to do this in a very crazy, hectic season, and for their wisdom and their input, and they're really, really incredible. So our reflection question for today is something to think about. Where in my life is my body asking me to slow down and I've been ignoring it? Because we all do. Pay attention to those signals. Heather's right. In the beginning, they're subtle. They're going to be so subtle, but over time, they're going to magnify and amplify if we don't pay attention to it. So now is the time. Now is the day. This is the season. Let's do it. Okay, so we always close down.
Can I add to that? Sorry.
Yeah, heck
And
yes.
then kiss it.
And then kiss it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I always think of, I know we're closing down, but
You're fine.
the kiss it is a reference to a small child when they are feeling pain or unsafe. They demand or ask for a kiss from mom.
Yep.
And what a magical thing that does.
It is magic.
It is magic. And this pattern or processing that you can do with kiss it yourselves as you reflect and work on these changes, it is magical.
Yeah.
It's not the magic fix it. Like, it's not going to happen the next day, but magical things happen.
I love this so much. This conversation is incredible.
Okay, one last thing.
Okay.
So just as our children ask for that magical kiss, don't hesitate to ask Heavenly Father for that magical kiss.
Yeah.
We need to ask. In this process, He wants to be a part of your journey.
I believe it. That is the truth. So we have one more episode and then we will be done for the season, and it's so exciting. But until next time,
Keep striving.
And we'll see y'all soon.
now it's time for the bloopers. Like, what do you think? What would that even be? Self-care trend? Stanley Cups? I don't know. Water's so good.
Self-care.
But water's good for you.
I know.
If there's actually water in those cups, you need tissues in here.
I do.
Does this happen a lot?
You can add that to your blooper reel.
Right? Where's the tissues?
Where's the tissues?
Oh. So we always shut down with I say until next time. And then we say guess, or somebody else says keep striving and we'll see y'all soon. So I think someone should say keep striving, and then someone else should say and we'll see y'all soon.
I'll do keep striving.
Okay.
So
You have to say.
say and we'll see
And
y'all
we'll
soon.
see y'all soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.